Hi, all. A warm welcome to you all. Today, we are going to discuss the topic force. Before getting into the topic, let me ask you something. Consider a stationary ball kept on the top of a table. How can we bring that ball at rest to motion? Yeah, only when we apply a force, that ball will move. In the same way, how can we stop a moving ball? In that case also, we must apply a force. Only when we apply a force, a moving ball will come to rest. Let me tell you another example. Let us consider a moving car. How does a car move? Yeah, a car moves when a force is applied by the engine of the car. At the same time, how can we stop a moving car? Yes, we must apply brakes. When we apply a force on the brake of the car stops or come to rest. So, what did you understand from these examples? A force is needed to bring a body to rest or cause a motion to a stationary body. Is it? So, today we will discuss all about force, its type and effects. So, what is force or how can we define a force? Force is that which can change or tend to change its state of rest or uniform motion of a body along a straight line. This is the definition for force. And in the definition is, force can also be defined as any push or pull from one object to another. You may have seen at the doors of shopping malls, restaurants and all this push and pull writings, right? What does it indicate? For opening or closing a door, we must push or pull. While pushing or pulling, we are applying a force. So we have two definitions for force. Force always comes in pairs, which means forces always occur in equal and opposite direction. If one object pushes another, the second object pushes back with the same strength in the opposite direction, acting on two different bodies. Next point is force is a vector quantity. Why it is a vector quantity? Because it has both magnitude and direction. Force have a magnitude and direction and so it is a vector quantity. Next, we can come to unit of force. What is the unit of force? The SI unit of force is Newton. Have you heard about Newton? The unit of force is named after the famous scientist Sir Isaac Newton. Next, moving on to the effects of force. The primary effects of force are to change an object's motion or to change its shape and size. Force is a push or pull that causes these effects, acting on objects to alter their state of rest or motion or deform their structure. As I said in the introduction of the class, a force can be applied to start motion or to stop motion. At the same time, we can apply a force to change speed, make a moving object faster or slower, and also to change direction, alter the path of a moving object. Next is the formula of force. What is the formula of force? Force is equal to mass into acceleration. In short, we can say F is equal to ma. What does this equation indicate? It states that the net force acting on an object is equal to the product of mass and acceleration. Next comes the types of force. There are two types of force. Which are they? Contact force and non-contact force. First, we are going to discuss about contact force. A contact force is any force that occurs because of two objects making contact with each other. Contact forces are very common and are responsible for most visible interactions between macroscopic collections of matter. We can say that a force is contact force only if a direct contact comes in between the two objects. Pushing a car or kicking a ball are everyday examples where contact forces are at work. I have given some examples of contact force here. First is frictional force, second one is spring force, and the third one is muscular force. In all the three cases, a direct contact is in between the two objects, so we can call it a contact force. Next, we can discuss about non-contact force. What is a non-contact force? Non-contact force is a force that acts on an object without any physical contact between the objects involved. That means there will be no physical contact between the two objects. I have given some examples of non-contact force here. First one is magnetic force, second one is gravitational force, and the third one is electrostatic force. In all the three cases, there is no contact between the objects, so we can call it as a non-contact force. So this was the last session of our topic. So what all did we discuss in our today's class? We discussed about force. How can we define a force? Force is that which can change or tend to change its state of rest or uniform motion of a body along a straight line. Another definition for force is push or pull from an object to another. We also discussed that force comes in pair and it is a vector quantity as it has both magnitude and direction. The unit of force was Newton and it was named after the famous scientist Sir Isaac Newton. Then we discussed about the effect of force. Then formula is F is equal to ma, mass into acceleration. Then we discussed about the two types of force. First one was contact force and the second one was non-contact force. Thank you so much for your time and patience for listening to my class. Thank you and have a nice day.